All right, great Friday morning. How is everyone doing today? Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery in with our 15 minutes to mastery for today, Friday, May 17th. Half of May is gone. Almost half of the year is gone. Where does the time go? Oh my goodness. Well, today we are speaking on perseverance. We're going to talk about perseverance today because every day we come in at 8:15 to get you a little bit of information, inspiration, motivation, to get you going on the right foot, get your mind focused so that you can attack the day and be able to work through the issues that may arise, man. Because if you start off mentally focused and just primed and ready to go, it's easier to overcome the obstacles, and you're building that grit that we talked about yesterday, right? So today we're talking about perseverance, and who better example of perseverance than Thomas Edison? Thomas Edison, inventor extraordinaire. Do you know he had almost over 1,000 patents filed? So anyway, one great quote on the topic of perseverance from Thomas Edison would be this right here in front of us. It says, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." How's that for perspective, right? I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So when Thomas Edison was going about inventing the light bulb, uh, people first thought he was crazy. Then, obviously, with all the work he was putting in, all the time he was investing in all of that, and just one failure after another, or what people would consider failures, right? It wasn't working. There was no light. And it was that perspective of Thomas Edison's in that, I am not failing. It's just not working yet. It's just not working yet. It hasn't happened yet. And that is the mindset that will lead to great things for all of us. All of us will be able to operate better and deal with things better as they come along if we're able to keep that in mind. It hasn't worked yet, right? So when we're talking about how it would apply to life, or especially in the business, right? Because we're here talking about manufactured home sales. For those of you that are in manufactured home sales, we know that a lot of times, one is, if you're just starting out, it takes some time to get things started. It takes time to get things ramped up and start getting paid. And a lot of folks will think that, well, that business just doesn't work. No, it just hasn't worked yet. You haven't gotten a deal to go all the way through to the finish line. There will be setbacks. There's going to be things that you have to go through. There's going to be learning curves, folks, that you must go through in order to reach that success that you're after. But if you are not willing to persevere, well, you're going to struggle, you're going to suffer, and you're going to end up selling yourself short and not going all the way through. Same thing in life. If you're trying to, whether it's start a relationship with somebody, or if you're trying to fix something that's going on in your life, but it's not turning out the way that you want it to. It just hasn't turned out the way you wanted to yet. If you have that perspective, it will help you fight through and pull through. Now, when we're talking about that and how we can apply it, obviously, to manufactured home sales, we want to make sure that we're looking at it from the right perspective. We want to make sure that we're understanding that there's a way to be able to get through and persevere, right? Because, well, what if you're going through some deals, you got your pipeline and you're trying to get things to the finish line, but you've got a long list of conditions that you just can't get from your customer. Or let's say you're trying to overcome a certain obstacle with a title issue, or you've got tax issues on some land. There's a lien on the property. There's all kinds of things that can come up, right? Well, you've got to just take it one step at a time. You've got to look at that one issue, and then you've got to figure out the plan to make it happen. And all you can do is what you can do. All you can do is either get in contact with the people. If you're talking about a lien on the property, you got to get in contact with your potential home buyer and explain to them what's going on. Tell them what a couple of different options are. If there are a couple of different options, maybe it's just one option that there is. Let them know, figure out if there's a way that it can be done. And if so, great, you move forward. If there isn't, well, then so be it. You have to move on to the next one. That's just the nature of the beast. That's life. Are you going to stay focused in on the ones that aren't working, or are you going to get focused on the ones that are and you can pull them through? That's what you've got to figure out. We were having that conversation last night here in my house with family, my wife and our oldest son, and we were talking about just being productive. How can we be more productive? And so it's just a matter of understanding that sometimes we just have to pull through. We have to fight through, especially on those things that we don't want to get through. And maybe there's other ways that we can leverage help. We can leverage other people to chip in, to help out, so that you can get more done, so that you can pull through, so that you can develop that perseverance to keep moving forward. And that's how you can do it. Now, what are the top 5 ways? Top 5 ways that you can develop perseverance. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you asked. Man, you guys all asked some awesome questions. I got to tell you that. All right. Check this out. Look at this. The number one way that you're going to be able to develop perseverance is by knowing your purpose. You got to know why it is that you're doing this. Why are you putting yourself through this just beautiful mess that we call manufactured home sales? You've got to know the purpose. You got to know the bigger purpose. It can't just be about the money. I say it all the time, right? It cannot be about the money. It's what are you trying to accomplish? If it's something that's going to take money, then what is it that you're trying to accomplish? What is the end goal? And or what are you going to be able to do for either yourself, your family, your community, whomever it may be? You've got to be able to develop that and understand your purpose. And that's why one of the main things that we work on at the beginning of any training course that we do here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery is finding out your purpose based on your values, based on your passions, based on what you really feel about yourself and others. We help bring that purpose to the forefront of your brain, because sometimes we've never even stopped to even think about it. We haven't even stopped to figure it out. Everyone has one. We've just never, a lot of folks don't take the time to figure out what their purpose is. And so when we do that and we bring that to the forefront, now it makes all the effort and all the headaches and everything worth it. You fight through because you know what your purpose, and in doing so, now knowing that, it also makes it easier to take the following steps, which the next step would be to make personal and professional improvement a priority. I'm always learning, always growing. I'm always getting better. I'm reading. I'm not just reading to read. I'm not just reading to be able to tell other people, hey, you got to do this, and hey, you got to do that, and hey, it's a good idea that if we act this way and we act that way, and then I don't do it. That's not what it's about. It's about first applying it to yourself. It's about first applying it in your own life. It's about first you becoming that before you start telling other people about it. And believe you me, I have had to do a lot of work on myself and for myself and in myself, in my personality, in my performance, in my discipline, in my everything, in my follow through. I've had to do tons of work. I still am working at it. I'm not perfect by any means, even though a lot of you think I am. No, I'm kidding. Seriously, it takes us understanding that we need to do the work on us. Nobody has it all figured out. And if you're one of those people that constantly thinks, or you think you need to be appearing as though you know everything, you're actually making yourself look a lot dumber than you think. Just letting you know right now, I've done it in the past. I've realized it now. And when I see it in other folks, I'm like, wow, that was me. Wow. Anyway, Make personal and professional improvement a priority and apply it first to you, become that, and then help others get better. Because once you do that, it'll help you develop discipline. You'll have the discipline to actually fight through. You'll have the discipline to push through the things and actually put in the work. When you don't want to do the work, when you don't want to wake up early, when you don't want to stay up late, when you don't want to finish a project, you're going to still continue to do it because it's the discipline. Nobody cares how busy you are. Right? We were talking about that yesterday in our family. Nobody cares how busy you are. We care about what you're actually getting done. If it takes 20 hours in a day to get it done and you're only going to sleep 4 hours, so be it. Get it done. As Jocko Willink says, right? You got to lose a night's sleep. Good. You lost a deal. Good. Customer cussed you out. Good. Whatever bad is happening, it's good because you get to learn from it. Develop that discipline so that you can continue to fight through, because you want to learn from your failures. And the only way you're going to be able to learn from your failures to be able to not let it affect you the next time, the way that it affected you this past time, is by being able to learn. But you've got to have the discipline to say, okay, what did I do wrong here? What could I have done better? How could I have avoided this? What can we do for the future to not let that happen again so that we don't have to have that setback, right? And then don't let it happen again. Learn from your failures. And the fifth way, obviously, is to stay focused on the outcome that you're after. That purpose that we talked about earlier, okay? Stay focused on the outcome. Move into the next step. And I've been talking to a lot of folks lately because, or about this subject, I should say, because a lot of them have been getting frustrated with, oh man, things aren't turning out the way that I thought they would, or hey, we're not selling what we should be selling, or these deals aren't moving the way they should be moving. But you're starting here, right? And you're not understanding that our business goes in steps. It goes in steps. You got to take the wins in steps. You can't go from one win all to the end. You can't go from the win of they actually came to show up and expect that the house is going to get delivered already. There's a lot of steps in between there, right? You got to stack wins. Your marketing has to be on point so that you can get the leads that you can speak to, that then you can set appointments with, so that when the appointment shows up, that's another win. And when you actually get them to actually buy in on a house, that's another win. To submit the application, which is another win, which when you clear conditions is another win, and you get it closed is another win, so that you can order the house, which is another win. And once the house gets delivered is another win. And it gets set, you get to fund the deal. There's your ultimate win, because that's when you get paid. But you've got to stay focused on the outcome, but understand that there's steps along the way, and you must persevere and move forward through each and every step. There's no skipping steps. Just like there's no skipping steps in becoming a better person in personal development, there's no skipping steps. There's no skipping steps. If you want long-term benefits, okay? I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to drop another 30 pounds, right? But I can't go from here to there, from one day to the next, or skip the steps of the diet, of the discipline, of the exercise. I could take some medication, but then guess what? That's not long-term. I could get some surgery. Guess what? That's not long-term either. What's long-term is developing the discipline to understand that food is fuel, and I've got to make sure that I'm using it the right way, and that I need daily exercise. That, my friends, are the steps. That's the work you put in. That's what will help you get there. That helps you develop perseverance. So again, to recap, right? You want to make personal and professional development or improvement a priority. You've got to be able to get disciplined. You've got to learn from your failures. You got to stay focused on the outcome, because step number 6, which is the big one, it just takes you right to the beginning. You need to know your purpose. If you know your purpose, you're going to be able to get all of that other stuff done when it's tough, when it's hard, when you don't want to do it, because you've got a bigger purpose, because you know your purpose. You're going to persevere. You're going to fight through, and you're going to work through those 10,000 ways that didn't work, just like Thomas Edison. You simply found 10,000 ways that won't work, not that you failed 10,000 times. I hope you guys take this message and you run with it today, this Friday, and you set up a fantastic selling Saturday for tomorrow, and you end the week strong so that we can celebrate with you on Monday. You guys have a great day. Go out there and kill it. And if there's anything we can do to help you folks out here, Manufacturer Home Sales Master, you guys let us know, because that's what we're here for, to help you take your life, your business, your career to a whole new level. And until then, folks, I can't wait to meet you.